Today on EPL, we will discuss timing, knowing when to hold them, knowing when to fold them, and knowing when to just let it go.
Let it go,
Get it poppin'.
let it go. Yes, you know I live for some Mary.
We all live for some Mary, and we're waiting on that next album.
No, it's out.
Oh, honey,
It's
is it out?
Yeah. It's out.
Oh, did she say going through the
She
thick
is
of it?
blowing that ex up.
Oh, we love it.
Fire. She's
That's what we
blowing it
want.
up. She giving you everything. She sell. You are purchasing all the juice.
Well, why would she do that? Because then aren't they still
That's what
doing
Beyonce
little-
does.
aren't
That's
they
what
still
Beyonce
doing
does.
that
You
case?
got it. If you want to know, buy it. I'll tell you
She's
everything.
not going through a divorce.
I mean,
That could make it hard for her. Like with
It
her
won't.
case, what kind of job is he
He
gonna get?
fell in love with her artist.
Wait a minute. We can cut the music. Thank you so much. Is it love? Is it
It's
love?
love.
How did you come to the conclusion that it was love? That's a little sweet.
Yeah,
Very
this is-
sweet.
This is
Little
melted
sweet.
Jolly Rancher.
You mean like
Okay, let me taste.
Kendu in his new in the side
Boo.
piece? So how do we know? Yeah, how do we
Maybe
know
it
it's
is
love?
He said. She
He
said.
it's love.
Wait.
Ooh,
Mary
everything is so
said on. I saw this on. Interview that she said that it was his soul. Oh no, I don't want to mix. Let me drink down the.
It's like cheap
I'll
champagne,
mix
though.
it.
You're not gonna get sick.
Okay. Mother Sheree, do what she says, or else you're out of here.
Come on, y'all. Let's get
mix
it popping. You guys, welcome to Eat, Pray, and Live. We're so glad that you joined us while I'm pouring. I'm going to multitask. I'm going to pour and I'm going to introduce our panel. To my left, we have back with us for you like a part of the show. Like we can't keep calling you a guest. You're a family girl.
I am
You a
one of
staple.
the in the closet hosts. I'm out the closet now.
What did you say in the closet hose?
Host.
Okay,
Well,
I
maybe
didn't hear
that's
that.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna have to talk to Sheree because her brain.
Well, you know, Demetrius said if you ain't booed up, I think
yeah,
this
it's
is
time to be
it.
hoes,
I think
yeah.
this is the last
Our
week.
time is
If you're
up.
not booed up, you're gonna have to be a
You have to be a
hoe
hoe
for the summer.
Yeah.
That was his philosophy.
That's the.
You had to be a
You
hoe.
see how they just forced me into this way of life.
They just see they put you in, they put you out
I'm
there.
just repeating what I heard. That's it.
What have you heard?
But I don't want to be booed up.
There was a whole article about it.
Well, okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. And then to Michelle's left, we have DivaD back in the house.
What's cracking, boo?
Thank you for,
Dan.
DivaD makes the trek from Orange County
Yes,
to be with
it
us.
I sure
So
do.
we feel really blessed
that
and
is
privileged.
not an easy
It is
hike,
not an
honey.
easy drive. So thank you for
Just
being
and
here.
proof that black people do live down in
Yes.
Orange County.
I can't
Oh.
wait to join him.
Okay, all 7 of us. Number 8, come on through.
Number 8, that's funny.
For real.
And then last and never least, my militant me in the house, Courtney Stewart.
Yes, and I'm actually militant today. I'm actually angry.
I can see that.
I'm pissed off.
Anytime you wear the Not My
Well,
President
that's
shirt, we
exactly
know.
why I wore it. I was mad again. So
See,
yeah.
and we're matching.
Yes.
Because I got my little orange
We coordinated.
jacket.
He wore the
She's
heat.
got his orange
Yes.
face.
Yeah.
You got your jacket is
Yeah.
like Trump orange. That's what it is.
what it is.
Trump
I just want to
orange.
say thank you to all of the Trump supporters who helped get this man elected because, honey, I am living for all this tea. I'm waiting for him to be dragged into the galleys and just throw him in jail and lock away the key. I can't, every morning I wake up, I can't wait.
What's the latest? What happened today?
Who
What
knows?
hasn't happened? Like it's something different.
So
like
is he
every
tweeting
day.
again?
He tweeting. He done told people secrets. He don't care. It doesn't matter.
Oh, he's mad about the special prosecutor.
Mad about the special prosecutor saying they're not going to do it. Still want to fire the press and not have any press conferences. Like he's a mess.
How much time do you think he has left? You think he'll be out by 2018?
If
don't
he's
know,
not, we
guys.
just need to elect some Democrats or independents to just kind of put a buffer on the House. And,
For real. Because
the
if
House
that
and the
goes
Senate.
well, when the
Yeah.
2018
Yeah.
election happens, we might be all right.
I
But
say let him stay there. Don't, because this Congress, I doubt they'll impeach him. They don't, like, Paul Ryan's the one who's got to call for the impeachment. They're not going to do it. So just drag it out
Yeah.
until 2018. Let's flip the House.
Can we at least get a break on our taxes before he goes?
I
Something.
mean, we'll see.
Well, he was trying to do
I ain't
it.
paying no taxes
He was
this year.
trying to do
I think
it
that's
for somebody.
that's a waste of hard-earned money.
You just gonna say because Donald Trump is in office, I ain't paying
And you're
taxes.
just not going to do it. I refuse.
Go right
And you know,
Say Uncle
you know what
Sam.
happens? They gonna
And I'm not showing
Jail.
the
What's
tax
his right in
return.
jail?
no, what's his name?
Madoff.
No, the one who Madoff is not here anymore.
Did he die behind bars?
You know what he did?
Bernie Madoff isn't dead.
He's still in
he was.
jail. I think he's
His
just in
son
jail.
killed himself.
Okay, his
Yeah.
son
Yeah.
killed himself.
Yeah,
oh,
he's
I
just
thought
in
he
jail.
did. Okay.
He's just riding.
What's his
In a
name?
cell somewhere.
You know the guy the black guy they said
Wesley?
Wesley.
Wesley
They gonna
Snipes.
Wesley snipe you.
Where did he?
Snatch
Didn't he
you
go overseas? And he
No,
was fine
they
until
took
he
him to
came
jail.
back.
Well, they,
No,
Oh.
they
I have no
he
problem
served
living
his time.
overseas.
He served his time. But if they have extradition treaty, like they can send you back.
And they put some other celebrities. What's her name? The one who can never show up to a gig on time.
Who?
Lauren Hill.
Lauren Hill, honey,
yeah.
all of them about to go to jail.
Yes.
Abby Lee Miller about to go to jail from Dance Moms because
Yeah.
she was trying to not pay taxes on some money.
Bankruptcy
That's
fraud.
right.
She kept it in cash in a bag, talking about she coming back from Australia with $750,000.
Are you for real?
That's gangster though.
It was gangster as hell. How you gonna
That's
carry it in
real
the
bad. I
bag
have a
because she didn't want to have
newfound
to claim
respect for
it?
her. She
Now,
was
was
a
she-
gangster.
Was she on a commercial flight?
Yeah.
She should have
It
went
wasn't even
private.
private.
She should have went private. She should have spent because from Australia maybe 50,000. She should have.
Might have helped us.
Any
out.
IRS people out there watching are taking notes
We
on
just
you.
playing.
I pay all
I'm not gonna do that. I pay my
I just
taxes.
pay it.
I don't mind
It
giving
ain't
it up
worth
because
it.
you got
I
to
do.
anyway.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's ridiculous.
I've
They'll come
accepted
after you.
it.
ridiculous. I'm traumatized.
But see, if Donald Trump ever does classes on how to, be the,
Get around this shit?
I'm
Yeah.
taking it.
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah.
those
Trump
classes.
University, girl,
Why
you
didn't you go
missed
there?
it.
Yeah.
When did he have it?
Trump University.
That's why other people suing him now.
I'm late.
She'd have been the first.
Now I believe it.
You'd have been the first coon up in there losing your money.
No, now I'm a coon, and now I'm gonna lose my
Trains
money.
coming. Coon trains coming.
Cool train.
Oh
Say
my
no.
goodness. Oh
We
my
are.
white people
it says
ain't
that
bad.
when we start spewing
mess.
racial slurs, it is time to move on.
Time to move
Is
on.
that a
So
slur?
Diva D,
Diva D is off the chain.
Diva D is here, and Diva D is our fashion expert.
Better straighten out my cross.
And,
keep me close.
Hold on to Jesus.
That cross ain't gonna help you.
No
You better
way.
have some garlic around your neck or something.
I need some garlic.
Lead us into our. There's something very, very interesting happening in the fashion world that really we need to talk about.
Okay, well, we're always talking about the women's fashion.
And it's funny because I feel like I got this trend kind of started.
Yes, and that's why I sent this to you. So
Yes.
if you don't remember last week or a couple weeks ago, we were talking about somebody on the red
Zendaya.
carpet. Zendaya. This one wanted to cut up her jumpsuit
Dress.
that was horrible, her dress, and turn it into an equally horrible, if not
romper.
worse,
Hello.
romper.
Right.
And then she proceeds to start sending me messages and DMs with different pictures of rompers. I'm like, let it go. So then all of a sudden, I start seeing these posts of, or we could pull up the pictures, these posts of men in
Yes.
rompers.
Can we see our first picture? We have a picture of
Cam Newton.
who got it, I
My
guess,
boo.
kicked it off at Coachella.
Yes. I think he's fine. Look
I
at
didn't even
him.
see him.
Yes.
He
He
was
is cute.
adorable.
Now, this trend is, especially among black people, is just
Yes.
sending people to the
They going
to
crazy,
the river.
y'all.
They're jumping. I love it. I love a masculine man who will wear something that many people might think is asexual, and just own it and have fun with it.
Yeah, he looks. You know what? He looks. It looks fun on him. He looks very
Yes, he
comfortable.
looks fun.
He's at Coachella.
Got his hat on.
Unless my
Exactly.
thing, where else can he wear that?
Right.
Well, like
That's
to
the thing. Like where
by
you
the
can't wear that to
pool.
get
Oh,
milk.
Oh, you know what?
T-shirt.
Or if he
Yeah.
goes to like the horse races, I can see it being
Or
done
the
there.
Derby?
No, you
No,
gotta
not
wear
the
pants
derby.
at the derby.
The polo, like a polo classic.
No.
Why
No,
not?
you
I
have to
think
be a
so.
little more. Mm-mm.
You Google
Needs to
some.
be a little
Google
more
some.
formal.
That's what
books.
I'm
For
saying.
that,
Like, where
yeah.
would you?
Yeah.
Coachella is perfect. A
Palm
family,
Springs.
maybe a family barbecue. He's
Yeah.
entertaining. A pool party.
Hanging out. Like
I love
regular
day
the
life.
party.
flowers too. The little flowers
it's
on. I want to
adorable.
smell them. I want to pick every single one
See
of
what
them.
I'm saying?
And see what they smell like. He's so cute. Tall.
But it's cute on
tall.
him. Now,
It is.
who was the company that did the ad? Because we have that picture next.
I have no idea. I can't.
Okay.
And I
Romper.
really, and I've been trying to find one.
Mm-hmm.
The problem for me is I love a romper. I even wore my little jumpsuit today.
You should see Honey DVD
Got my
with his
jumpsuit, giving you-
82-pound self in a one piece, but it is
Yes.
adorable. See,
Serving
that I
you
like.
Amelia Earhart teas, honey.
Yes.
Amelia- Oh, this is the one. Now
Oh, that's
this.
it.
Now this is where rompers for men go wrong.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
When the whole crew gets together.
And
That's
they're
a
all
mess.
in one.
And
yeah.
look, I love my brother,
Look at the
But-
one in the blue with the fur. I just can't.
He's just doing too much.
Doing too much.
It looks too small too. For
Yeah,
me.
it's the length
Exactly.
of the short is not quite right. The
stomach-
waistline isn't right.
The
Like
stomach is coming
Yeah.
out. That's that's not a good look. And I think it looks like a fraternity hazing, like they were all, you girls got to go out and wear some rompers.
and had them
Yes.
specially made
Yeah.
to be fun to
They look like they're having a good time.
that's true.
Okay.
yeah.
With each other.
They know
Aretha
they're
look like she's
ridiculous.
ready to sing, honey. She got her
Who's
fur on.
Aretha?
Oh, with the fur.
Aretha's ready to go.
So what do y'all think about this trend? Because people are going crazy, and it there are some people are kissing, giving it kisses, and there are others giving it hisses.
Oh, I thought they were kissing.
Oh.
I was gonna say, I
Like,
didn't see
oh, I
those
didn't
No,
pictures.
we didn't.
those
Yeah,
pictures.
no.
I
That-
give it a
that's the behind-
kiss.
You give it a kiss?
It's fun. I mean, like everybody can't pull it off. I would
Right.
say almost none of them pulled it off in this picture,
Yeah.
but I feel like Cam really pulled it off, and I wouldn't
Right.
trip. I would first be like, "Oh snap, you got a romper on," but looking at it, I'd be like, "Oh, you're kind of sexy." Like, I think it's fun.
The way he wore it,
Yeah.
he killed it. But
Yeah,
this right
yeah,
here,
this is
or
nice.
I could see like the gay boys trying, the like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
right? Can you see
but
it?
like it? Yes, like I
that,
can
like
do it.
I see that they, are gonna, for the summer, blowing bubbles and rompers.
Blowing bubbles?
Yes.
She said blowing.
You never seen that? Like
Look, when I tell you, I can't imagine
Gay
a
pride.
less.
the whole gay pride.
Gay pride, they'll blow
Yeah.
some bubbles.
Okay,
at
gay pride. No, I'm saying, now it's funny because I'm glad you said that because I'm looking at it as a heterosexual woman who, I like men. This is very unattractive to me.
Even on cam.
But then
Well,
don't.
Cam wore it. I
Right.
thought he was
Yeah.
kind of cute. It kind of to me it fit his personality. What's going to happen is because it's a new trend, people are going to be jumping on the bandwagon that shouldn't.
Right.
There's some people that need to stay off the wagon.
Right.
But they're going to jump on it because it's a trend and they're just not going to be able to pull it off.
So check your swag before you buy
it's
one.
gonna be a mess
If you
this
got
summer.
the swag, you can do
DM
it.
it
It's
to
gonna be
your-
a mess this
DM
summer
it to
with
your
all
good
these.
girlfriends or your good friends and say, that you can trust to not screenshot it and hold it against you later on and say, hey, does this look cute on me? I don't mind it. I think with fashion now we're moving in a direction where it's becoming less about gender norms where
Yes.
women have to look feminine. Remember the days where, well, what are you trying to be, a lesbian or a man, because women wanted to wear pantsuits. But now it's, I think men being able to show a softer side of their masculinity, I don't think that this makes you look any more or less feminine or masculine. It's the person that's wearing it. Now if I'm laying by the pool at the peninsula having me a little martini and here comes Cam Newton in his little romper,
We're good with it.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
gonna talk to him.
We're good
I'm
with
gonna
it.
be like, well, Daddy, come on, sit on down and like, maybe give me a refill or fill me up. But if one of these characters showed up, and I feel like they would all show up at the same time, like a boy band, and start trying to like do ba ba da boo ba ba doo boo, I'd be like, no, I'm not feeling it.
Do we have the next picture? Because this is what from the front.
There you
See,
you go.
But but see, I'm having a hard time with it from the back.
Why?
The back
that's
angle
too
is
much.
All
the
of
back
that.
is messing with me.
All of it.
The back is messing with me. Yeah, it's like you know what?
It's a little
It's
too
like
tailored for my taste.
I
like
love
this
it.
is
tight.
something a toddler should be in.
No, to me that's
If you're
sexy.
over 6,
Like
don't
a
wear a
sex-
romper.
like a sexy
unless you're Cam
mechanic.
Newton.
That
So
one,
that's sexy.
to me, I like that.
Okay, let
and
me-
the way he's got it all unbuttoned, I'd jump on in.
Oh,
When they got it like,
why you gotta sit on everything and
I'm not
jump
trying
on
to
everything?
sit on it,
What
but
in
you
the
know, I might try
world?
to see
Jump on
something.
in.
We need to make we
know,
we
if
need
he
to
comes up to
orchestrate
the
you getting
table-
some.
So you
But
gonna
got a
open it
monkey
up.
on your back.
What are you gonna? A monkey on my back? Well, tell him to get down lower. Tell him to get off my back and get into the business.
I can't.
Well,
I can't.
I like that. If he comes up to the table and I'm sitting down, I'm like, oh, how you doing? You might be able to see a little something down there.
He looks a little European.
That's what I'm saying. It's very European. You took the words right out of my mouth. So if we were overseas, if we were in
South of France,
Paris,
yes.
it's like okay,
Korea.
boo, do your thing.
But why we can't let it be a little American?
Well, I'm just gonna tell you right
Miami?
now, you can't wear
Yeah.
this down on Crenshaw and not think you're gonna
Well,
get
no.
beat up. Like even I,
Right.
that kind of try to tone it down when I'm over on Crenshaw.
So you wouldn't even wear this on Crenshaw?
I wouldn't wear that on Crenshaw. I'd wear this on Crenshaw.
Wait,
Yeah,
DivaD
that's
goes to
fabulous.
Crenshaw?
I sure do.
What do you go
In
over
the
there for?
daytime.
Doing over there?
You goes over
spot
there.
me.
In the daytime.
What you be doing?
Well, like they're building it up.
But like, what are you
Yes.
getting from over there?
Like some of the shops, I find like a lot of the hip fashions kind of start in the hood. Oh no, I'm good.
Oh, it's
Now,
She's
now,
trying to
now,
get me
now,
drunk.
now, this one right here,
That's what I'm talking
we good.
about.
We
That's what I'm
good.
talking
See?
about.
It's
Now,
about
no,
shape.
he's killing that.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's about shape. I'm full.
So that's it. I think you just have to know what you can wear and what you can't. What's the matter? You don't want
Okay,
any?
I guess I'll
I'm
take
good.
some.
I'm
I mean,
like-
Drink it.
Yeah, you have to know what you
Talk
can wear and
about
what
peer
you can't.
pressure.
But he's got his little silver
his braids,
hair.
salt and pepper hair.
Silver Daddy.
You know, he's very hairy. He's got tattoos all over his arm.
And he got big thighs. Look at his thighs.
Yes,
Like, you
and
can
it's
see
kind
his
of full. It's not really tight.
Nobody would
You
mess
know,
with him.
it's an
Nobody's going
army
to go
green
up to
color.
him
No.
and say, "Oh, what are you
That's
trying
cute.
to do?"
Yeah, you don't see
That's
onesie. You just
Yeah.
see
Yes.
a
You
drawstring.
You see him. You see a string to draw open.
Well, and it almost looks like it's two different. It looks like a
Yes.
shorts
Yeah.
and a top. It doesn't look so romperish.
That's how a lot of
And
the
they
men
call
look
him-
down in Orange County too.
Ooh, when we going to Orange County?
Right.
Better get on
Been
the
a while.
bus.
It's been a while.
No, I
It's been a while.
I can't go.
I can't.
Ooh, she's
Courtney.
available. I can't.
I
But
just need you as support.
I got conflicts
okay.
down
Well, are
there.
you engaged or
You
married?
might drink.
Are you
I might.
engaged?
You might need.
Engaged?
You
That's
might need
true.
a
You're
designated
technically
driver.
Still single.
Exactly.
But I always take a designated driver though. Can I go just to drink?
Yeah, we'll just drive. We'll drive you.
we'll
We'll just chaperone you. I got to keep you in line.
Who, me?
I gotta go. Yeah,
I'll say yes.
just a chaperone.
Say yes. Okay. Yeah.
Let's come on
go.
down.
Just go.
We'll go down the montage where they call me Mrs. Talbert. Hey, Mrs. Talbert.
Let's
how
do
you
it.
been?
Ooh,
Let me
yeah.
set a date in
We'll
your
do that.
schedule.
All right, let's
need a
get
camera
into
while I'm
well, he's good on these pictures. Let's get into our main topic about timing. Let me set this up. I think she was at the Apollo, wasn't she?
Yep.
Okay, so during a recent stand-up show at the Apollo, comedian and Oscar winner Monique called out Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey in a pull no punches, obscenity-laced skit on stage. Since appearing in the Daniels directed and Winfrey and Perry produced film Precious in 2009, Monique has made repeated claims that she was blackballed in Hollywood, in large part because of how she handled the 2010 Oscar campaign for the movie Precious. She went on to say on stage, and I didn't do the clip for that. Y'all can look it up in your own time. It is pretty hardy language.
You could have put it
like
up.
that.
We're ready for it. We're all God-fearing people. We know that we're saved.
Well, why don't you read this quote then?
Dan.
Oh, she don't even want to read the quote.
Read the
Let's read
quote.
the
So let's
quote.
set it.
Read the quote. What she done said in the
It's
blue.
right here.
Oh, yes. No, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed by some black dicks who had no balls, the comedian told the crowd. So thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Ms. Oprah Winfrey. It would kill me not to say the real shit. Y'all could suck my dick if I had one.
Hello.
Jesus.
Oh, I
forgive
just
me.
got hot.
You see?
Yeah. Now, okay, go ahead.
But that was in a comedy
Yes,
setting.
it wasn't a comedy
Right.
skit.
Right. It wasn't.
She went too far.
She wasn't on Barbara Walters.
She went too far because, first of all, let's be clear. You know what this business is getting into it. So you can't change it. I don't care. You can come 100 years from now.
Right.
This business has been established a long time ago. We all know that getting into it is a game. It's who's dating who's friends with who's in bed with who. That's how it works.
So she's not playing the game.
But that's what
Is that
it
what you-
is. Yeah,
right.
it has been established. It would be different if they changed the rules once she came. The rules have been set in, like, what is it, the 20s, the 18, you know what I mean, 19, 18. The rules were set a long time ago. So when you came into it, you knew what it was. You can't come into Hollywood and thinking, oh, I'm going to change the rules. You can change the game by doing your own thing.
Well,
but,
and I think maybe that's what
She
she's
thinks
trying to
doing,
do.
Yeah.
but she,
let me-
what has
let
she
me-
been working on?
Let me ask you
Life.
guys first. Let's go
She made
back.
that movie last year,
And-
Blackbird. It was good.
But timing, do you think after this happened 2010, I believe, the incident. So 8 years ago. Yeah, almost 8 years ago. Is her timing off? Should she just let it go? Should she still be
Gotta let it go.
because you know what bitter, when people say you're bitter, that
Right.
just means that you've stayed in a place too long and now you're starting to sour. And
She like the lady that was Fresh Prince.
Janet
Janet
Hubert.
Hubert.
who will not shut
She
up
will
about
not
how
let that
angry
go.
and sad. I'm like, honey, that was 20 years. Don't know. Most people don't even know who you are.
Right, the new millennials do not
They
have never
no
heard
idea.
of.
And
Yeah.
you just look crazy. Like, you just look like you are holding on. And if everything was so fabulous and so great and you are in your blessing of now, that's the past. And you need to
Right.
let that go. And that's, to me, that's what Monique ended up looking like. Even if I slightly agree, and I understand there's always that debate. It's sort of like the Malcolm versus Martin thing. Like, are we going to just kind of go with it how they're doing it their way and sort of work within the system versus work outside the system is really the argument that she has. But at this point, it's been 7-8 years, girl. You still working as you want to work because you stood your ground the way you wanted to stand your ground. So you can't come back now and be mad at people for not taking the route that you chose to take and call them out their names and be disrespectful and all of that. To me, that says more about you than it says about them.
You know what? I did my
a good
research, but I'm sure that our listeners too. What was the issue? They just said she wasn't. She wanted to get paid for the campaigning.
Yes.
She, you know,
She didn't thank
during
producers.
Of Precious.
Right. Well, the way like the film happened and everything,
Yes.
and what I feel about it is, I just don't feel like she feels as though she's had the closure. But you know,
Well, obviously.
or have
But, okay,
Yes.
so what happened was it was a very low budget film.
Yes.
And
Right.
then I think it went to Cannes Film Festival, and they wanted her to pay her own way to get there to France. And she had a problem. This is what she's saying. And
Right.
but her husband, who is her manager, was speaking on her behalf and was like, no, you need to pay her way, this and
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
and she had the twins and all that.
Yeah.
And I think she felt, and
she wanted-
And that to me is understandable.
But
I
she
think I
wanted-
would have a problem
But I think-
having to do
I-
it on my own dime.
But I think
Right.
it was she wanted more than just herself. I think she wanted the
She
twins,
wanted the
the
twins, she
husband,
wanted her
the whole entourage to be flown
That's-
out there.
and it's low budget.
Right.
That's not.
It's-
Yeah.
It's not conducive to the project. It doesn't make sense. Me
That's
personally,
So were they not
speculation.
going to pay for her?
I think what it really boils down to is
Or she just
at
not
the
the
time,
entourage, yeah.
At the time, you have to go back to that film was getting such incredible buzz. She was getting buzz as possibly getting a nomination, which
Yeah.
we now know that she did receive the award. And so my feeling is, and you know, I have to be honest, I had met Monique and worked with her and, you know, and did some collaboration with her on a few things, was invited to her baby shower, you know, at the height of her career when she was having the talk show. And when this came along, I was so happy that she was winning and getting all of these accolades.
Yeah.
And so when I look back on it, I see someone who arguably made that film.
Yeah.
Took that, because when Precious came out, it was her performance and Gabrielle Sidibe's performance, but it was her performance that really got people.
She's an amazing actress.
Exactly. It was amazing.
but when you're
and
but when
I
you're an
just-
artist, it's not
Well,
about you, so you
yeah.
can't think that way.
But I'm not
you
saying
can
that-
In
never.
the end, it's money. Like, it's numbers. Like, in the end, like, we have this amount for budget. Like, we can't do this for you. That
Right.
doesn't entitle you to decide. If you're focused on your art and what that means and where you're trying to go with it, then you understand that the larger picture is, yeah, it really sucks, and yeah, I want to stand up for my right to be flown where I need to fly, first class or whatever. But maybe this isn't the situation to exert that effort into. I win this award. I move to my next project. Then I demand all of this,
Yes.
that, then other.
Were you
so,
on set?
No,
Did
I
you-
wasn't
No,
on
but
that.
but
I'm
that's
just saying-
but Courtney
I'm
hit it
just-
on the nail
yeah.
because when you're an artist, if you don't even get paid anything, if the script is bomb, you'll be like, I don't
Right.
need to get paid because it's about
That's
this. She
true.
was support. Was she a producer on that on that movie?
She wasn't a producer.
think so.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, still, I feel. I think it was she. They wouldn't fly her whole entourage. That's where she was like, if
Right.
they don't go, I'm not going. Something like that.
But I still think
Yeah.
that because no one ever, Oprah has never really spoken on this. Like
Because
you know,
Oprah's too big for this.
Right. She's not
It's-
spoken
And she don't
on
want
it.
to slam
So
what
does
was
she-
great.
Right.
Does she
And-
feel because Oprah, all these high-profile people, these wealthy, big wig Hollywood people were attached to it, that they did have the money,
I think
that
she,
they could have done it? I mean, why is she?
I
why-
think it. I look at it more as y'all can't have a sister's back.
Yeah.
And I
But that-
like I
that's
you know,
how
from
she
her,
feels.
Like that's how she
Yeah.
feels. And you know, regardless of who's right or who's wrong or how the system works or how it doesn't work, you know, the older I get, the more I start thinking about how is this person feeling, you know, and maybe is there something that could Oprah have maybe called her personally? Could Tyler maybe called her personally?
But we
That's
don't,
expecting
we don't
too
know,
much.
we don't know that that didn't
Exactly.
happen.
We don't
But
know that it
she
did or didn't
might,
happen.
because she could still be in her. What it seemed like she's still
She's
in her
still in
feelings
her
because
feelings.
nobody stood up for her publicly for whatever. Because it went on to it proceeded
Right.
that she wouldn't thank producers and things. Like, I don't think she thanked them in her speech, and then something
I
about
think she
interviews
didn't
or something.
thank lead, but directors like directors are assholes. They're known to be assholes, but that's how they get the project done. And it's not like they're trying to be, but you have to have a certain personality to. I just feel like you have to have a certain personality to get the job done. Like they say, women empower bitches. It may come off like that, but you're not really an asshole. It just is perceived by people because they don't know the task that I have to accomplish. He probably didn't have enough money to get it done, and he was calling people he knew he might. I think he called Mariah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mariah Carey helped with them. You know what I mean? He's like, girl, do you know what I did to get this done for you? And now the plane ticket first class from L.A. to Cannes is $6,000 at that time.
It seems like she didn't look at the bigger picture.
No. Yeah. She felt like she took that time to assert.
She wasn't. She was in the moment. She didn't look at it from the point of view as this is an investment. Let me do this here.
Right.
Let me give here, and like you said, the next thing, because once you get an Oscar, the world kind of opens up for you, and it
Not
hasn't
always.
for her.
Not
It
always.
can.
It can. There are many cases where people win Oscars and they just kind of go away.
Yeah.
And they don't have. So we don't. Like,
But with her
hindsight is
personal-
always.
She did say that she thought that that's what was supposed to happen.
Well, I would feel blackballed too if people are talking about me. And in the media,
And stuff is not coming
right?
through.
And at the time when I was reading it, I kept thinking to myself, well, why can't they just all sit down together, get together, meet up with one another? Because it seemed like somebody's feelings got hurt on both sides. That either Lee's feelings got hurt or Tyler's feelings got hurt and her feelings got hurt.
But it's
and they
like
just
y'all
couldn't
talk about feelings in a place of business, and like at some point you have to stand up and be like, you know what? It was a business decision. It made no sense for me to. And I get people have feelings. Yes, they do. But at a certain point, it's not my job as a coworker to
worry about your
and worry
feelings.
about your feelings. Like, something needs to get done. These people have invested money in this film. I have a job to do, and I need to make sure that gets done. I can be respectful to you, but I can't coddle you because you are upset as what this system that you signed on for has brought to your table.
Yeah.
And people get mad when they think Oprah is she's almost a billionaire, or is she
is a billionaire.
But people don't realize to get to the point that she's at financially, you can't just because you have the money. That doesn't mean you give
have
it.
to be
Monique wants
smart,
me to pay for her whole. Just because I'm Oprah doesn't mean she's afforded that privilege. Like I'm going to shell out $30,000. No,
It's we're not there yet.
Well, at the end of the
But
day, she got an Oscar. Who else over there
Yeah.
has one? So at least she can say, out of all these people, I have an Oscar.
but that's
She
not
does,
enough for
and
her.
nobody can do
it.
It's not enough for her because she keeps speaking out on it.
It seems too like she got caught up. The lines were skewed. There was a lot of maybe friendship stuff happening and relationships, and it went beyond business. And she had expectations that as a friend that did not get met, and she got in her feelings. But let me ask you this though. She's still hot about it, and I'm sure it's still fresh for her because the work still isn't coming. For us it's old news, for them it's old news. Now
She's still dealing with the repercussions.
Yeah, she's still dealing with the repercussions. So what makes no sense to me is to get on stage now and to reignite this whole thing, the timing of it. Now you've just breathed new life into it.
Right. Well, and I think part of it is, like you said, the game is pretty much consistent. I think the game is changing a little bit in
What is the game?
Hollywood, in media.
Just
it
to
used
play
to be
nice,
the
teamwork.
like with the studio system, the
Yeah.
agents were in charge, the producers were in charge, the movie companies were in charge, and now you have situations where you have Amazon, where you have Netflix, where you have people that aren't, specifically in the movie industry coming out and putting out shows and projects that are winning major awards.
But when you
But that's mechanics of the system. That's not the game of the
Right.
system. Because to still get in with Amazon,
Yes.
like it's still that same
Yeah.
game. Like to get something pitched to Netflix, you're still playing in the same water.
And I understand that, but I think it's slowly moving away from that very traditional system. Where we are today with the entertainment industry is very different than where we were even 10 years ago. And an industry that's been going on for like
more so
50
you
or
have
80
more
years.
opportunities, but the business is still the same.
The business side of it is still the same. I would love to see Monique in something. I think for her not to be given a role because of some of this stuff, and considering
But
the
you know-
talent
but you
that
know
she
what?
has,
She's a
I would
liability,
love
and
to
she's
see
proving
her.
she's a liability.
If she would just let go of this for real, the universe would reward her.
Yes.
Do you think she's personifying the stereotype of the angry black woman?
I think she's doing it to herself, and I think she had help with other people doing it to her. Because within our own community, we can be our best champions and we can be our worst critics.
Yeah.
And so, just the fact that we're talking about it, I'm at a point in my life where maybe 5 or 10 years ago I'd be like, she's crazy, she didn't deserve any of this. But, as I get older and hopefully wiser, to all the cute little men out there, I'm growing.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
growing. But I want to.
I'm growing too. I have grown too.
You ain't growing as big as I
Shameless.
get to grow, honey. But
DivaD will not be
doesn't
back
stop.
next week. This is his last appearance.
she
Eat.
She puts all of
Ray.
this in here.
It was the raspberry strawberry.
This is
That's
what
what she
did
did
it.
to me.
Whatever that
It's
is.
like a smoothie
Strawberry
in a
went
bottle.
to his head. See?
Now look, I'm
Went to
gonna
his head.
put
Which
my,
head do we
take
have?
my
No,
comedy
no,
show
no,
on the
no,
road and
Take
be
it on
like,
the road.
"Sheree,
Had me up there getting drunk, and she did it to me, and now she wants to kick me off the show. I've been blackballed.
I'ma be your
from
manager. I'll book
BHL.
You'd like
Yeah,
to be
you book-
blackballed.
I'll
That's
book
the
you.
difference between you and Monique. She don't want to be blackballed.
brown ball.
You, on the other hand, are okay with it.
But no,
All
but
with
I
the blacks.
think, I feel like at a certain point, at this point, I think this should be the last time she speaks on it.
But it won't be.
Like, get it out there, let it out. Like, it's been 7 years or however many years.
won't
This
be.
can't be the last time because she just reignited this whole thing.
So now it's
She
gonna
has-
keep going.
But she has the power to
She-
be
she
able to
opened
just say,
it.
you know what, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm still in my
Oh no, no, no!
feelings."
She got
can't see her
interviewed and
doing
said
that.
she was clearly fine with what she said, and she would not take it back.
You know
She's
what?
Maybe she
perfectly
could produce
in-
some
We
stuff
gonna
on
let
her
Diva
own.
D sit down with her. You didn't mean that, Monique, did you? Yes.
Yes,
The
I
hell
did,
I did.
girl.
I did.
She's still mad.
Well, Monique didn't really mean it, guys. Stay tuned.
Will you come and edit it for me? I
sure will.
Chop it up, make it something
Is
else.
there a fine line? You know how people say, because she said, it would kill me not to say the real shit. It would kill me. So for the sake of keeping it real, because it's almost like, is there a fine line between keeping it real and being a sellout?
I think she's, like, for her.
Or playing the game and being a sellout?
Well, wait, have you ever gone to see her comedy shows?
And
Did
is
you
it-
ever see any of her comedy shows
Well, let
back
me-
in the
let me
day?
give you
Because that's
another-
how she was.
Well, and then my other part of the question is it, can you say things? Is it not, it's not what you say, but how you say it? Is that true here?
Yeah.
Could she have delivered that? Because she could have really made that funny. I watched the skit. I didn't think it was funny. It came out very angry
And
to me.
negative, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came from like that was from the bottom of her feet. It just came up. Like that is in her. That
But
is
do you-
packed down.
But I watched it and felt as though if this were a man doing this in the same sort of
we
situation,
would have said the same thing.
I don't know that we would have.
I would.
think sometimes we hold women
that's
and
true.
black women to
To a different
very
standard.
different
That's true.
standard. To a very different standard. And
But
you
the
know,
time is what is the problem.
But her show was always like that. I mean, I've
But
been
it's-
to her
but
show.
we don't
That's
wanna hear
fine
about
about your
yeah.
show, but you didn't turn it into the art. You kept
Right.
it on the
Yeah.
I'm just in my
But she would
feelings
talk
level.
about things like that. You know, she would talk about
Yeah,
her
she
show.
did,
But
but it
she
was
didn't make a joke. Like even what's his Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
He talked about how he set himself on fire. Remember?
Yeah.
He
Freemason.
Right. But he made a joke about it. He didn't say,
Yes.
I burnt myself up because I was high
Because
and
the
tripping and
industry.
I'm fucked up. You know, he didn't go, he was like, shit, my turn black and blue before I knew it. I was running that, you know, he made us laugh
Yes.
at, like laugh at me. She didn't do
She
that.
hasn't made it there yet.
She didn't say.
She hasn't
it-
come- you're
if,
right.
if it was
She
more
hasn't
so
come
like
full
they
circle.
blackballed me and I'm trying to at least redball myself, something.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to get back in. Can
That's
somebody
true.
give me a job? You know.
She doesn't think. Usually, when you can kind of take that kind of responsibility and make a joke out of it, is you've taken responsibility and you realize your part in it.
Exactly.
That's not what's going on here. I don't know what Monique's part was in it. You know what I mean? She
Right.
could have been just dealt just handled really, really wrong and the short end of the stick, whatever. I don't know. But I do think there's a more productive, more effective way to handle things.
You're right. And maybe maybe in her mind, it was coming out funnier than it came out.
'Cause it wasn't
maybe,
funny.
Like maybe in her mind, she was setting it up, and as she's talking about it, because when I watched it, I said, "Oh, it's still
yeah,
raw
yeah.
to
She's-
her,
she's-
and it's still raw." And so,
But that's the point. You need to know that about what you're going through.
The pray part.
Pray
what
about
God
it, girl.
teach you, but what God
Monique,
teaches you,
I'll pray
you let
with
it, you
you.
let it go,
Call me.
and you let Him handle it. You have to let it be handled. You can't hold on to it because He can never do what He's supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to let it go because whatever they did wrong to you, it'll be handled. They'll get it back
Yeah.
because karma is a, you know.
That's it.
And
You,
in her,
you do reap what you
in
sow.
her defense, it's not 7 years old because it got reignited once before when Empire started. Because supposedly, like that was the further proof that she was blackballed when we wanted her for Cookie, and then it didn't work
Yeah.
out.
and
so
then, and actually, you know, on Bravo, on what's his name, Andy
Watch What
Cohen's
Happens
show,
Live.
Watch What Happens Live, you know, Lee kind of, you know, reignited some things and, you know, said some things without saying some things.
But see,
that
that's
were
how you
coming
do it. But
across-
see, that's
but it
okay.
still came across as shady. It still came
But that's
across
okay.
like,
But that's okay. You just shaded me twice, and I remember we're gonna talk about it after the show. But
Here we go.
I'm just saying, shade me, but don't blow me. She blew up the spot. She
didn't
blew
shade
the
them.
spot
She did
up.
not shade them. She said,
was a
"Suck my
bomb.
dick,
I
y'all
may not
assholes."
be back
like,
next week,
Shade,
y'all.
you know, shade me. Don't just blow me up. You just got me out here looking like I don't.
And it's sad because she has allies. Like nobody's confused. Like even though I'm like on technically producer side at this point, I'm like, I get you probably got a little screwed somewhere
Yeah.
along the way, like for sure. And it's obvious. Like she just did a great movie. What was it last year? She did Blackbird. Ain't nobody heard about that movie, and no nobody but nobody.
And
So I
most
get
people
it.
in that business get screwed. It's called
Exactly.
paying your
Which is the
dues.
point.
Yes.
Lee Daniels
Now, as a
had been around for years, and he's just now getting his
Just now.
acclaim. Like he's
Yes.
just now getting his acclaim.
And
he's
her
done so
argument
many.
would be that she had been around for years, so Precious was supposed to be her moment. And I get that, but you don't get to decide when your moment is.
And the
Now,
moment,
as a
as an
producer-
artist, is never one person.
No.
It's the crew, it's the stage, it's everybody who comes together and puts it to. You can't. If you ever think it's just about you, you're not going to
Yeah.
succeed.
Now, as a producer, if you are working on a project and you have a casting, you know, director come to you and say, you know, this part would be great for Monique, you know, does all of this make you think, and you see to yourself, yeah, I can see this part being great for her. Do you think that would cause hesitation for you
Sure.
to actually
Absolutely,
say
Sure.
because she has made herself a liability.
Yeah.
Because she didn't
even
drop
though
it.
her art is
It's
though
not
it's about
called art. We are not in community theater. We are here to make money. It is called Hollywood show business for a reason. So it has to be both. And we don't like it. Don't get me wrong, because there's art in me and in my soul, and I would love to just be acting and just doing and not caring about anything. But that's not. It's not show
Doesn't pay the
business.
bills.
We're here to make money.
Have you
Yeah.
ever, I'm sure, DivaD, you have, you know, your clients, your personal clients in Orange County. Have there ever been some that were just too difficult to work with and you were like, you know what, all money ain't good money?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it was at a point where I had become more established where I could say, you know what, I'm not going to work with you. And it wasn't, you know, it got to a point, I had clients that would drop $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a day with me, you know, every 3 to 4 days. And it got to a point where I said, I can't work with this client anymore. And I'd have to talk to my supervisors and say, look, that money's gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to refocus and work with somebody else. And they were so nervous about it because all they saw was the money.
Yeah.
They didn't see the stress that I was under. They
Sure.
didn't see that I had lost 5 pounds in a year and was, you know, held hostage.
And you lost 5 pounds in a year.
Right.
In a
Right.
year.
Is that when you
How
lost
you
your
do it?
hair? Like, you shaved your hair off and you lost them 5 pounds.
I went from a tote bag to a carry-all. But, you know... But it was, I went through a lot of stress and I said, you know, I can't deal with this. And a year later, you know, I actually sold more because I said I'm actually able to
Yes.
give
Yes.
my time to, you know,
Yes.
to all of these other people. So I get what you're saying that,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes, you know, you really want to be with somebody, you want to be there for somebody, but when it becomes an issue
Or a burden.
or
No.
exactly, or a burden. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I may not survive till next week.
For
She
real,
talking
like-
like she gonna get me outside.
You know? Catch
She
me
got
outside. How
she
about
got
that?
a braid. She put a box of braids in. I
Are
know
you scared,
no, she
DivaD?
did
Not say box of braids.
I'm
You
not
did
scared,
not.
but
Are you scared?
I'm not
You
scared, but
didn't.
I'm gonna be cautious when I leave the studio.
box of
Look at my eyes.
Let's do we have just three minutes left? Do we have the option of
did
going
we
a
talk
little
about that
longer?
in the
Because we started late. I want to get to because we're talking about timing, and Courtney, you sent me this story that I thought was so interesting. It's a new app And this new app is called Just a Baby. And it's like Tinder on prenatal steroids. Its purpose is to bring people together solely based on their desire to make a baby. So you can literally swipe to the right for an egg donor, swipe to the right for a sperm donor, swipe to the right for a surrogate. Now, I tied this into timing because the founders, Ryan, he's one of the inventors. One thing he said, I thought it could cater to millennials who may be less inclined to settle down than previous generations, but still want to experience parenthood. Now, I'm thinking, timing. Is that putting the cart before the horse? Don't you want to let time basically have its perfect work and let God bring you who you're supposed to be, yoked with and connected with in raising a family?
No.
Depends on whether your car is a Hyundai or a Mercedes.
No.
Like if you've got the money to do it and you can afford to do it and that's what you want, a lot of us feel as though, from my generation especially, your and my generation, is that there was this emphasis on marriage and a family unit, especially within the black community. Like the black families are going away. We got to stay together as a unit. But sometimes that's not the best thing for an adult. And if you bring kids into a situation and it becomes negative or
what about
volatile,
the child though? You don't feel that the child deserves to have two parents?
I was raised by a single parent. My mother passed away when I was very young, and I was one of these kids that was like, "Oh, you trying to bring who into the house? No, Daddy, you're not gonna date or marry her."
But you weren't. That wasn't the intention, though.
I shut it down.
The intention wasn't for you to be raised by a single parent. I was raised by a single parent. That wasn't the intention.
It wasn't, but I would have, looking back on it, because there were issues on both sides. I have the benefit of hindsight, and when you're younger, you get emotional, like you blame one parent for the situation that you're in. But looking back on it, I said, you know what? I don't think perhaps my mother was ready to raise 2 kids with my father, and my dad got custody of both of us in the 1970s. So that tells you something about the situation that I grew up in. And even though someone might say, well, it's great to have 2 parents around. My dad worked his butt off. I mean, to put my sister through gymnastics school, to make sure I went to the best schools, buying homes down the street from one of the top high schools in the state of California to make sure we had, the best education. And I would not trade that I wouldn't trade all the hard work that he did as a single parent to possibly have 2 parents that would be mediocre in what they were willing to do for me or my sister. He went above and beyond. And kids that had 2 parents, they weren't doing, my friends, their parents weren't doing for them what my dad was doing for us. And so it really depends on how passionate you are about having kids.
But sometimes when stuff is too easy and too accessible, we end up grabbing for it before we're really ready to have it because it's there.
Yes.
So that stimulates or it evokes in us an emotion to want something that we might not really be ready for.
Well, what is
Well,
that?
I feel like, we're already dating and finding people online anyway, okay?
Yeah.
So when I read this about the app, I was like, if you legitimately think about adding yourself to this type of an app, you have a powerful desire to start a family. And because you can date and do Tinder and do all that without any of this. So if you add that, you have something that really is saying, I'm ready to start a family. Okay.
It's not like you're ordering sperm with the app and it shows up at the house.
And it's not like you're like, let's go get pregnant. So you still have to meet the person. You're swiping to meet somebody that you think you want to co-parent with. So it's sort of like getting in a relationship with somebody. If it was a blind date, Mechelle was like, I got this dude who ready to settle down. Courtney, you ready to settle down? Maybe y'all are sort of in the same vein. Y'all go on a date. I don't see it any different than people setting up people that know they're family-minded versus people that you might set up friends that they just want to hook up.
Right.
That to me sounds like it's people that are actually family-minded and ready to get on that path. And so you're not going into it blind okay, I want to date you. Oh, but you don't want kids for another 5 years? I can't wait 5 years. I got to go somewhere else.
Or they end up pregnant and they're like, wait a minute, you told me you want a pill. It's like, oh, but I wanted a baby, but you didn't tell me.
At least then they're taking on the
I feel
burden
like-
for themselves.
I feel like that's where the world is leading to.
Oh, it is.
That's just where, like, it's a new world out there.
Yeah.
That's
Sperm
what.
coming in the
And it
mail.
just goes in line with
And you
how we
inject
meet
it, have your
people
girlfriend
now.
come over and
But
inject it inside.
To me, there was something
Shoot it up.
intrinsically wrong about
girl,
about
diva.
saying for the millennials who aren't ready to settle down, but you want a baby.
But I don't look.
So
I
a
don't,
baby's not gonna settle you down.
I think we're taking the app too far. I don't think
Yeah.
that when you get the app that you're gonna be like, oh my God, I want his sperm, and the sperm's gonna show up. I think it's a first step, and then in order to get to the next step, they're gonna be
Yeah, you have to, like, meet
evaluations.
each other
And I think they do want to.
meetings.
The person who goes on this app does want to settle down, but hasn't found the person who wants to settle down with them too. Because some people have that problem.
Some people don't want to settle. They said this is for the millennials.
But that
People that
doesn't
don't
mean.
necessarily want to settle down but want a family.
But like
that doesn't
millennials that are like, I ain't trying to settle down with nobody, ain't jumping to like, let me go get pregnant. Like
Right.
that's just not.
I don't necessarily want to be in a relationship if I decide, if I'm financially secure enough in the next few years to have a child on my own, then I'll do that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll have one. I mean, I'm getting ready to send this app over to my best friend because I'm like, well, why don't you guys have a baby and you two are married, you can go do what you want, you both work, and I'll move up from Orange County, I'll rent out my house, I'll take care of the baby. Because I really want to have, that sort of parenting influence. And so if I can't do it, I'm like pressuring my friend. I'm sending him text messages in the middle of the night when I'm drunk in the lounge talking about, when are you going to have that baby? I'm getting old. And he's like, what is going on with him? Because I want to, have that sort of bonding.
See, I think when it's a person who wants to settle down, but maybe they just can't find that person where it's just with connection. Like he said, not being in a negative situation. Somebody who's tried, but they're financially stable and said, you know what, I want a child, and I'm just gonna do it. I can't find the person that I want. I do want to settle down. I do want a child, so I'm gonna do it.
I see, because I think that we all have timelines on stuff, especially women, where our biological clocks are ticking. So we're like, oh my God, if I don't have this by the age of 36,
Well, honey, they're
37,
moving
whatever.
that clock is moving a little bit for Janet Jackson. How is it? 67, 80 years old, having babies. She's gonna be on her next tour talking about I'm
goofy.
pregnant again.
You goofy.
Another
Yes.
500. Another 500.
But timing is everything.
She's so stupid.
So Courtney, what's our
us that.
what's our Halo award?
I'm sorry, Janet is 80. I can't.
It feels like it.
It did feel like it. But more power to her and all the people that just randomly want to have a baby by themselves, because I don't want one by myself.
Yeah, it's hard enough.
It's hard
Yes.
enough. Like, I just can't even imagine that. But
It's difficult.
all right, so our Halo award this week, even though this is somebody that normally I'm just not feeling anyway, but he did something this week that made me real excited about my life again because I was
Tyrese?
real upset. No, I'm never speaking on Tyrese again. I'm giving the Halo award to the former FBI Director James Comey, and the reason I'm giving it to him is right here, y'all. So he got fired last week for those of you all that do not know, and Mr. Trump, who usually I don't say his name, I usually call him Cheetos, sent out a tweet talking about, you better not be talking because you don't know what was recorded in the office. That's not like verbatim what he said, but essentially he was trying to allude to the fact that maybe he recorded some conversations in their office and that Comey needs to watch his mouth. Well, Comey dropped a bomb this week and was like, well, guess what, bruh? I thought you were sideways every time we met, so I took copious notes, and I got memos for every single meeting that we had. There were up to 3 meetings, I believe, in January and February that he met one-on-one with the president. And clearly in one of the meetings, the president asked everybody to leave the room and spoke directly to Comey alone and said, so we gonna drop this whole Michael Flynn investigation, right? I mean, we're not gonna push that.
He's a good man.
So there is possibly proof that our president tried to impede an FBI investigation into Flynn's ties to Russia, and thereby the whole Russia investigation could have been an attempt to impede on it by Trump. And there are memos that were shown to other employees, and it is very clear that this may be happening. He hasn't testified in front of the Senate committee yet, so we
That's
don't
coming.
really know all the specific details.
We need
that's
to go to
coming.
D.C. and film
Exactly.
from out there.
But I was like, you was
The
messing up
Hill.
all kind of stuff last year, Comey, with Hillary and all kind of. He was a mess and probably needed to be fired, but probably should have been fired back in January. But I'm so glad when he was like, guess what? I got receipts. Thank you.
I love it.
And
All right, you guys, that's our show. We're going to go around, give our our takeaways, and Courtney, give a takeaway and tell everybody how they can keep up with you.
Everybody can keep up with me everywhere at Stewart Starlet, and my takeaway for the day is something I haven't thought of yet because I'm always first and I never have it. I don't know.
She's always first.
My takeaway,
but never has it.
I'm always first, and
always and never should not be in the same
think
sentence.
that I should be thinking about it before but I don't never know when you really gonna wrap up because we got 17 minutes on the clock. So
But that's to the next show. That's to the next show.
Okay. I'm gonna use my takeaway today is that everybody has their own style, man, and if you got the swag to rock a romper, I'ma still talk to you.
I love it.
You just gotta have the right swag. You don't wear the let the romper wear you. You wear the romper.
Or let me take it off.
Well, it's
Cam.
Hey, Cam.
How you doing?
I mean, Cam, I also
I got a hat like yours too.
DivaD, final thoughts, and how can everybody keep up with you?
Well, you all can keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter at It's DivaD. It's DivaD, not just DivaD. But my takeaway today is this. I think in life, like you said, it's all about timing and it's all about, moments. And, thinking as we get older that learning the lessons from our past and waiting and being patient, saying what we have to say, being kind in our truth, being truthful in our kindness, and being honest with ourselves. And really, understanding that a lot of times it's not just about you, that as hurt or as as wounded as you might feel, the other person on the other side of the table may feel just as bad. And so really just understanding that let's take a step back, talk to one another, listen to one another, but understand that the timing is key. And it's not always great for you to just go off.
All right, Mechelle.
So my takeaway is, if you shave me 2 times too many, I will meet you outside. No, I'm joking.
With her box of hair.
So, my takeaway would be that sometimes in life, you just have to let it go. It could hurt, it seems painful, but you cannot get what God or whoever your God is or the universe can't give you. You can't receive if you don't let that negative ball of energy can give you cancer, it can make you sick. You have to let it go. You have to let it go and live in your purpose without the negative thing. Life is so much easier. I've let so many things go that I probably could have shot somebody by now. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Can we switch seats next week?
You won't be here next week.
Can somebody,
I got him back. I don't have to meet you outside now.
is somebody recording this?
No, we're just having fun because we've been drinking this. Sheree gets us, tipsy. But I just want to say, in life, you have to let it go.
Yes,
Amen.
you do. Amen. And how can they keep up with you?
Everything is Mechelle, all E's, not I. Mechelle Epps on everything.
Well, I'm Sheree Fletcher across all media platforms, and my final takeaway is the battle is not yours. It is the Lord's. And turning the other cheek, we sometimes look at that as a weakness, or we think that we're becoming a doormat. It really is a position of power. It's standing in your truth, but it's not letting the haters sway you and get you to act outside your character and block your blessings. Amen. That's our show for today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Hey!
Peace.
Okay. Look.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.